Hey, Augusto, welcome to this month's edition of What's New in Digital. I'm excited to be speaking with you today.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
Before we jump into your three talking points for today, let's hear a little bit more of your background and your role at No Typical Moments.
Gotcha. So for no typical moments, the media buyer. So for media buying, what do? We take care of all the ads, make sure that they run properly, they're profitable, and just it's day to day optimizing, just making sure our clients are happy. But more importantly, it's just working as a team to get that goal fulfilled for the client. That's what we do it. At least that's what I run for my role in media buying.
And what platforms are you comfortable with?
Me, comfortable wise, Facebook, Google. I mean, I play with, I've nibbled a little bit with, TikTok, Snapchat. So a little bit of everything, honestly, I've been pretty good at. So, but mainly here, Facebook and Google is my bread and butter, I would say.
Perfect. So let's dive into your talking point number one.
So number one is going to be AI. So I know we use it a lot, but I kind of just want to pick your brain on what do you think AI is going to become? I know it's slowly taking over copywriting, little by little, not yet fully, but is it going to take over ads? Is it going to take over my position? Do you think it's going to just be a helping hand? Like, what do you think AI is going to be when it comes to marketing?
Great question. So I've thought about, is AI going to replace advertisers and in turn, no typical moments? I think
Mhm.
we all have to at least, address that reality so we can protect, our professions, our careers, our organizations. I think that's going to be far out. And I think also there's always going to need to be someone continuing to supervise the
Mhm.
ads. I don't think we're just going to want to let it run, completely autonomous and of no degree of supervision. I would say within marketing, I always think that AI is creating more efficiencies in what
Yeah.
we're doing. And there's going to be a lot of things that are, replicated work, stuff that's more admin level that's going to be replaced by AI. And then I think it's all on us to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So that's actually why, as an organization, I wanted us to do two things over
Mhm.
the last couple of years. So one, we've been offering fractional CMO consulting. The reason being is having that C-suite presence at brands isn't going to be replaced by AI, at least. I
Mhm.
don't see that happening
Yeah.
for a while. That's still, client engagement and touch point and temperament check.
Mhm.
And then also being able to do AI consulting as needed as well. So we're still the ones operating the machines, even if, advertising becomes less of a necessity per se. I think we all
Yeah.
need to adjust and pivot our skill set so we're still relevant in the digital landscape. And I always think with copywriting, for instance, that's the easiest one to talk through. It's definitely never a public facing version the first
Mhm.
get-go. It still needs, some editing, some back and forth with ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever it looks like to fine tune.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, my take on it's quite similar to yours. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was driving and I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder if my job can never be taken, like just the aspect of ads mainly. I know there's so many aspects to marketing, but because I know there's a piece of AI, I can't remember exactly what, but it basically runs ads, Google ads for you. So they do all
Mhm.
the, they don't do too much scaling, but I think it's just maintaining. But I know it was doing a terrible job. So before I came to No Typical Moments, it wasn't doing such a great job because there was another account for more e-commerce, but I was just like, this is so frustrating just to see it not take opportunity of,
Mhm.
reading that. But then I was thinking deeper, like, what if it sees a good number, let's say CPM is super low, or it's the ROAS is doing phenomenal, like, and it takes advantage of it. At what point am I going to like not take care of those ads anymore because the AI is taking over? But I was just and then what you mentioned is I think there's always going to be somebody just taking care of tweaking, like
Mhm.
putting oil in the engine kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
So I don't see it going. At least my position personally, I don't see it going away. I don't think it can because there's days even in no typical moments where, hey, can you please turn off this ad? This person's not here anymore, or we're not sponsored with this person anymore. Like it's not
Mhm.
something the machine's gonna know. So I
And
fully
arguing with Facebook when your ad gets rejected incorrectly.
exactly. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Is it gonna keep pushing? Well, I mean, you can't push the budget at that point, but is it gonna keep, is it going to alert us? Is it not kind of situation? So I just see too many obstacles for that. And I think that's why it hasn't been invented as far as an AI for ads yet. And if it is, I'll be happy to be on a project like that because that's something I've been thinking about too. But it's just every time I think, oh, maybe if it does this, it reads this piece of data, it'll get it. You need that human touch at the end of the day. Because I think that's why people react to more human like ads and people in ads. You can see I have AI images and all that, but that's the reason I brought it up. I just think I don't think it'll go away, but who knows? Who knows? I
Is
might be
there
wrong.
an AI tool you like the most? A specific software or, ChatGPT, Gemini, is there one you like the most?
Well, ChatGPT is the one I've been using a lot. Midjourney too for
Mhm.
images. It's getting so much better. It's insanely crazy. I have one of my
It's the weird hands are getting a lot better. The hands
Yeah,
were so
getting
weird
way better.
before.
But even the facial features, I have a friend of mine because I have a lot of colleagues in the media buying space. He does ads for dating, and
Mhm.
my God, like if you just put one like side by side, you blend images because that's what you generally do, blend images or you describe what you want. It's insane how good they look and how realistic they're starting to look. So it's getting a little scary to the point where, for me, I'm very cold to this mindset where it's like, all right, cool, I see it working, it doesn't work, so I'm very cold. But for people who use the device or see something, they're like, they'll fall for it. For me, it's like, as long as it's profitable for the client in that sense, it's very bad to say in a way, but it's like we have to make those decisions as a media buyer. But I know that piece of AI is so beneficial for him, at least for the dating ads, that you got to push that,
Mhm.
and it's insane. And I know ChatGPT just came up with the funny one. They call it Riz GPT, which is another way for flirting, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, Riz is the new term. I don't know if you know it, Andrew, but
I'm out of the dating space.
no, it's not even a dating space thing, but it's more of a new generation. My brother says those words. It's kind of
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
yeah, it's like lingo. That's the word I was looking for. It's new, and I'm just like, I read it and I was insane. But essentially, it's for dating sites, or I guess if you want to use copy for that type of stuff. It's really funny, but yeah. But I mainly use ChatGPT, Midjourney. I would say I've used once in a while, but those are the only ones I stick to. I used Copy AI when it came out,
Mhm.
kind of at the beginning, but that was years ago. So yeah.
So let's hear point number two.
So number two, I would say what do you think are alternative digital advertising, platforms and strategies that you think would be coming up? We had the rise of Facebook, obviously one of the first ones. Then, Google's been around for sure for the longest too. Do you see anything else maybe popping up besides TikTok? I know TikTok is starting to come up too,
Mhm.
but anything other than that?
As in a new social media outlet.
Yeah.
Um, I think TikTok's been the easy one to
Hmm.
share. There's so many like whatever the Jack Dorsey's like
Hmm.
alternative to X. I was really high on Threads when it came out.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Um, just I don't like Twitter. I just think it's such a
yeah.
cesspool of garbage over there. So I
Obnoxious.
was all about Threads, and I was into it for about a few weeks, and I haven't logged in 5 months.
Oh, man.
So it had some momentum. I don't know if Zuck and team over there are going to get it to a level where it's really competing with Twitter day in and day out. I'll give a different answer, a non-digital one
Mhm.
that I always revert back to,
Mhm.
and that's handwritten thank you cards.
Really? Interesting. Why is that? Is it the personal touch? Is it that human kind of thing that
Yeah, I think it's a few things. So the human touch, it takes a lot more time and effort for you to write a card, find someone's address, go to the post office, get stamps, put it in the mailbox,
Mhm.
versus just typing an email, which half the time I'm just using Google to write the email for me.
Yeah,
We all know when it's,
yeah,
someone just, using the Google feature to do that for you. So I would
or
say that, and the more we can bring the human element back into our
yeah.
world, which is so techy,
Mhm.
I think we shouldn't lose track of that.
100%. By the way, I know it feels special because you sent me, around the Christmas holidays and all that good stuff, the holidays and at the end of the year. You sent me a card and it felt good. I was like, wow, it feels weird to get one in a way because we don't
Mhm.
get it. We're so, we get an email like you mentioned, or everything's digital. Even birthday cards are now digital too, gift cards and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So it's not you lose that human touch. So that's awesome. I mean, I think around the same as you, as far as the different platforms. I think for me, just because I'm more hands-on on it, Snapchat is phenomenal too.
Do
If
you
you see,
use Snapchat just as on an individual level?
Yeah, an individual level, I played with it too. Before coming here, it's an interesting platform to use. It's very similar to Facebook, the platform, the way it looks, the dashboard, and all that stuff. I just think it's more for not necessarily a younger audience, but an audience that's really into influencers because there's so
Mhm,
many. They're paying a lot now. Like they're paying a lot of influencers now to be on their kind of like their own reel, if you want to call it, or
mhm,
story. So they have options there where I feel a lot of audience and traffic goes, and that's why people get, very attached to that ad. I would say ad platform now too to run ads. But it's a little difficult. I wouldn't probably recommend doing anything like lawyers or stuff like that. Maybe I just don't see it working. It's worth the test, I always say, but yeah, that's what I would say platform wise. And I'm sure there's gonna be another Facebook or another, who knows, Twitter or Google that'll come along and maybe take over in the next 10 years or so.
is there any one that you're a fan of that's completely under the radar? It has like
Mhm.
500,000 users on it. Is there anything like that that you've played around with or looked
Yes.
into?
Yes, I played with this was about 2 years ago, I want to say. I played with it. It was more of a writer page, so politically
Mhm,
speaking. So it was very they try to copy Facebook a lot, but it was a lot to deal with people who believe in the right politics and all that good stuff.
mhm.
So I ran some ads there. It's very interesting.
Are you
I
talking about the what was that called? What was that platform called? I'm having a
I
brain
can't
fart.
remember. That's why I just know it was about right and political. So,
Right.
but I just can't remember the name. I don't even know if they're still up. I haven't heard of from them in a very long
I
time.
think
But yeah,
they ran into some legal issues and got shut
probably.
down.
So there you go. So it probably got shut down. But that I would say that's one of the one under radar that was kind of like very different for me and interesting to get used to. But besides that, nah. I mean, Snapchat is something like I said, I think is very underrated nowadays,
Mhm,
especially e-commerce clients, like those type of clients, I
mhm,
would say that definitely need to use that. And TikTok Shop, I don't know if you've heard, it's different from TikTok ads. You still
mhm,
can run ads and stuff like that, but it's kind of like its own Shopify in a way,
mhm,
where they really, I think they're gonna grow. A lot of influencers are using it. I have a good friend of mine who has like a creating kind of space for creators, and they're running ads there through there too, and kind of like a YouTube thing where they have sponsors and they start doing ads that way. So
mhm.
maybe those two platforms will continue growing. I feel like there's going to be something else in 10 years or so. Hopefully, maybe another MySpace. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Well, let's go to point number three.
Yeah. So number three, so I wanted to pick your brain on the future of advertising. So, everybody's wearing the Oculus stuff. Like, how do you think that's gonna look? Is it gonna be something we still? I mean, we're gonna run ads there for sure. And I picture it like Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph. It breaks the internet. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, yeah. So it was, but it's the second movie, I believe, where, they go into the internet and it's something new, and then you see a bunch of pop-ups as like a new world. Do you think is it gonna be something like that, or is it gonna be like a simple, like another window that has a promotion? Like, what do you think marketing leads into that type of more VR world?
Uh, Great question. I have not put that much thought into that.
Yeah,
And I say that because I have tried on a VR headset once
yeah.
in my
Oh,
life.
really?
And I was trying to fix my dad's VR headset from a
Yeah.
bunch of years ago. My mom bought him. And so I've been super resistant to the headset
Mhm.
wave. I actually was at the Apple store last weekend and I was debating on trying on one of their headsets, the Apple Vision Pro, but I just
Yeah.
decided to leave and not do it.
Uh,
I would say I can't imagine a world where
mhm.
there aren't ads
Yeah.
uh, within it. And especially with Zuck and knowing how ads are part of, all of his platforms, I don't see
Yeah.
how there isn't a day that he builds up the, supply of is Facebook and Meta, are they Oculus? That's them, right?
I would assume so. Yes, they're Oculus actually. Yeah, I was
Uh,
I was mentioning more Apple Vision Pro, but yeah, I mixed them up. But yes, I think they're Oculus, all of them. Yeah,
so I can't imagine a world where Zuck actually controls the hardware
Mhm.
and he's not dictating what ads you're going to be seeing, knowing what happened with Apple and iOS 14 and him.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, so I can't imagine a world where he's not, you know, really maximizing advertising dollars. But I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've done a little bit more thinking on that.
Well, I was thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for like the past year because like I see these VR headsets. I played it a little bit when I traveled to Panama. I went with some friends. It was like a VR place to play and stuff like that. So It's really cool. It's really fun, very realistic in a way where you're just like, oh crap, like you feel like you're there, right?
Mhm.
But then I was thinking about more of the advertising because I'm like, now I saw the Apple Vision Pro. You saw that this, that it was a pretty good ad. It was
Right.
very organic. And then Mark Zuckerberg obviously spoke about like what's it called? Apple Vision Pro gave his take on it. Obviously not a
Right.
positive one, but regardless, it's good marketing for me. But then I thought, like, how can is it gonna look? So I thought since I watched Wreck-It Ralph, I was like, I feel it's gonna be a little bit more like that, where it's more of your avatar. You're gonna have maybe an assistant kind of little thing
Mhm.
where you filter out the ads that you want, maybe, and you start seeing exactly what you want in that sense. Because at the end of the day, I know privacy is a huge thing, and it's something that maybe, I mean, it's always going to be a factor, but I think if we have ads in our face, we more than likely want to see what we want. So
Mhm.
as long as it's that and it's more like, I guess, Wreck-It Ralph-ish, if you want to call it that, then I'll be 100% open to it. And I'm just very curious to see how I can run ads that way too, and the creative and all that. So I
Yeah, I'd
think,
love to hear your thoughts in in this regard. So I hate ads when I'm watching the Steelers because it's for all these products I don't care about.
yeah,
I actually enjoy seeing ads online because they're geared towards my interests, and
yes.
it, most of the time they're not disrupting my scrolling experience because they feel as a natural extension to what I'm already scrolling about. So, do you have any thoughts then with, future VR oriented ads, what they could do to not disrupt the experience you're going through?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this privacy thing, I'm very cold-minded to it. It might be even controversial. The privacy situation, I understand, but for me as a media buyer, I'm speaking as a media buyer, it just helps me get exactly what you want in your
Right,
face. That's if anything, you're just hindering me from getting you what you want. You might see an ad for a skirt, I don't know, and you're not gonna wear a skirt more than
right.
likely. So it's like, why would I want to put that in front of your eyes and waste your time, right? So when it comes to the VR part that you mentioned, I think as long as it's a little bit open, at least where we can be giving you and feeding you that ads that you want, I feel it'll be a good experience. But as long as it's that, and it's going to be
Mhm.
hard. So, and it's funny that you mentioned. I'm gonna switch topics just a little bit. It's the ads in football. You know, you and I are football fans, but I used to watch a lot of soccer too. So the rest of the world soccer is there's no ads for 45 minutes. There's one
Mhm.
half, 10, 15 minutes, then 45 minutes again. You'll see ads on the boards or like Coca-Cola, all like McDonald's or sponsors, all that good stuff. But maybe if we go that route too, maybe if it's just like half the day you see ads I mean, for a moment of the out of the day you see it on a VR headset, then great. If it's gonna be more like NFL where they're shoving it
Right.
every time. Even the Super Bowl is a big thing just because of commercials. So that just tells you how
So
much
kind of subtle product placement as you're in the VR
I would
experience.
say for now, yeah. And then it like if it's more Wreck-It Ralph, then it's more of a like a place you live in. At that point, you see like a soccer game. You just see a Coca-Cola one, or like you're
Right.
walking down New York. You know the I forgot the city, but the place where there's a bunch of lights essentially. So maybe it's something like that too, which I wouldn't mind either. But as long as it's not shoved into my face to the point
Mhm.
where I'm just like, why am I seeing ads that I'm not going to consume? So,
Right.
but yeah,
Well, perfect, Augusto. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate our
of
three discussion points.
course, man. Thank you so much.